Have you ever felt like you were facing a problem so big, so huge, that it seemed impossible to solve? A test at school, learning to ride a bike, feeling a little bit lonely? Well, today we're going to read about a young boy who faced a problem that was not just big, it was a giant. A real, live, 9-foot-tall giant. His name was Goliath, and he was a champion warrior who made entire armies tremble with fear, covered head to toe in heavy bronze armor gleaming in the sun. He carries a spear like a tree trunk, a shepherd boy named David who saw things a little bit differently. This story isn't just about a big fight. It's about finding big courage in a small package. Imagine a sunny day in a wide, dusty valley. On one side, Israelites hiding behind rocks, hearts pounding. On the other side, the Philistines cheering and shouting. In the middle, walking back and forth, is Goliath. Not just tall, covered head to toe in heavy bronze. He made men freeze. But one young shepherd saw something else, a chance to show what courage really is. This is the story of David and Goliath. The place where this all happened was called the Valley of Elah. On one hill, the army of Israel had set up camp, King Saul's soldiers. Across the valley, the Philistine army gathered. For 40 long days and 40 nights, these two armies just stood there, watching each other. Everyone was too afraid to make the first move. Every single morning, just as the sun began to warm the earth, Goliath would stomp down into the valley. His heavy metal armor would clank with every step. He would put his hands on his hips and roar, "Send out your best soldier to fight me!" His words were meant to scare them, to make them feel small and weak. No one dared to volunteer. The fear was like a heavy blanket over the whole army, making their arms feel weak and their legs feel like jelly. On the Philistine side, there was noise and celebration. They trusted in what they could see, their giant, their weapons, their iron. Over on the Israelite hill, nights were quiet and hope began to fade. The Valley of Elah had become the Valley of Fear, a place where an entire army was held hostage not by chains, but by the terrifying words and enormous size of one man. They needed a hero, but they had no idea he was on his way, and he wouldn't even be a soldier. While all of this was happening in the valley, David was miles away, living his simple life as a shepherd. He learned patience, responsibility, because the lives of the sheep depended on him. When a lion or a bear came, David didn't run. He ran toward the danger with only his staff and sling. He learned that courage wasn't about not being afraid. It was about doing what was right even when you were afraid. One day, David's father, Jesse, sent him with roasted grain, 10 loaves and cheeses to check on his brothers in the army. He arrived at the camp just as the two armies were lining up and the air was filled with war cries. As David talked to his brothers, Goliath stomped into the valley and began his daily shouting. David had never seen anything like it. The Israelite soldiers ran. Their faces were pale with terror. But David's heart moved from shepherd to warrior. He felt a call, not to glory, but to protect his people. He stepped forward, ready to face the giant. David's bold questions were reported up to King Saul, and the king sent for the young shepherd. When David stood before the king, he didn't bow his head. "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him," he said. Saul looked at David, a young man, not even a soldier, with no armor and no training, and thought, "This is impossible." But David answered, "When a lion or bear took a sheep, I went after it and rescued the flock. The Lord who rescued me then will rescue me now." Convinced by this faith, Saul agreed and offered his royal armor, a heavy bronze helmet and a thick coat of mail. But the armor was huge, heavy, awkward. David could barely move. He took it off. He would not wear the king's armor. He would wear his own kind of armor, his faith. Saul measured the giant from the ground up. He saw height, armor, spear, and thought no one could win. David measured from the sky down. He measured the giant against the infinite power of God, and the giant looked small. He walked to the brook and chose 5 smooth stones. Careful, practiced, deliberate. With his staff and his sling and the bag at his side, David felt ready. He left the safety of his side and began to cross the valley floor toward the towering Philistine champion. The Philistines laughed. The Israelites held their breath. the fate of 2 nations rested on the shoulders of this one young boy. Goliath yelled, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" He pointed his spear. David answered, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." He selected 5 smooth, round stones: stone 2, stone 3, stone 4, stone 5. A sling is a simple strap of leather with a pouch. By swinging faster and faster, you can launch a stone at incredible speed. As he ran, he reached into his bag and pulled out a stone, one chosen for this moment. He swung the sling, built momentum, and released at the perfect moment. The stone shot out like a bullet, flying straight and true toward the giant. It struck the giant in a small, vulnerable spot on his forehead. Goliath swayed like a tree in a storm and then came crashing down, face first, with a thunderous thud. For a moment, there was total silence. Then a roar went up from the Israelite side. Their fear turned to courage. David ran to the fallen giant, took his massive sword, and finished the moment to show the victory was complete. When the Philistines saw their hero down, they threw down weapons and fled. The Israelite soldiers chased them and won a great victory. This story reminds us, sometimes our giants are overwhelming, but faith, courage, and the gifts we know can defeat fear. Whatever giant you face today, remember David. Face it with the tools you know and the faith you carry. If this story moved you, hit subscribe. Join a community that believes small things can do great things.